It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 on the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the NOFSRL Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barreto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
It is finally that time again. We're here to begin Season 3 of the Cabela's Cup Series. Not too long ago, Season 2 ended in November with Kane and Biller taking the title and Dale Lightning holding off Travis Crampton in that thrilling final lap photo finish at Chicagoland. We're here to restart once again, a field reset, some new faces, some gone, but some returning, of course. We are ready to get the season started, but it's not time to go to New Smyrna just yet. First, we got to do Preseason Thunder here at Hillside in Massachusetts. This 1 mile high-banked fast oval is going to be exciting here for this 25-minute practice session. Let's go ahead and go down trackside and get it started. And as the field's coming in here, we're going to see who's the first one to go out on the track. We got Darren Armstrong there in the 14, Alexander Rowe in the 11, Sam Osgen the 83, the 22, Dan Park there coming down on the pit road there, Ryan Durrani the 34, and looks like Park is going to be the first one onto the track to run practice laps here around Hillside International Speedway. We will, of course, be coming to Hillside later this season for the Body Armor 400. One of the later races in the season. I believe it's race 29. So that would put it as the fourth to last race of the season. So some guys going to get some good practice here for the season with car control. And, of course, for later on this season when we do go to Hillside for the points-paying race there. Dan Park, you see, running the top side here with the windshield full of Keegan Thompson. He's going to go around the outside. Now Thompson sticking on that low line, though. It looks like the first one to do a lap, a timed lap. Trey Wright, in the 90, driving for Trey Smith with a 20.750. We'll see if anyone else can come around and best that time, and absolutely Trey Wright just bested his own time. 20.160. What a start to this Preseason Thunder session for the 90 of Trey Wright. Back for his third season of Cabela's Cup Series competition. Welcome back to the series for Trey. And of course, the first season in the custom era. We had pre-made car sets before, and looks like Wright just improved his lap again, 20.057. So this Mustang is flying right now. Arctic Racing, Trey Smith's team put a good engine here. Arctic Racing is actually 1-2 in the session right now. That was until Titan Nicholas in the 17 moved up to the second position there. And now things continue to shuffle as the 55 of Eric Monaco has gone on top of the board. There he is, the Cohen Racing Enterprises entry, with a 20.027 for that 55 team. Beautiful lap there for Monaco. And now in the 19.808. Hello, Dan Park in the 22 for Blackout Motorsports and Noah Clifton. That Updish Chevrolet is looking strong now. Second place on the grid right now. Well, we'll shuffle it again. 19.798 Tyson Nicholas to the top of the charts. They are flying around this track. This is not a track where you get out of the throttle much. You have a little bit of off-throttle time, but thanks to the intense banking, you can fly around here at insane speeds. And now to the top of the board. Well, only for a moment. It was the defending Scott's National Series champion who's racing for Ace Motorsports, Kip Silverpoint, the 68, but now it is the 2 of Ben Young, who is also back for a third season of Cabela's Cup Series competition. And welcome back to the series for Ben. See if we can find him out on the track here. There he is in the Apple Chevrolet. This scheme was submitted late, so he has a DeWalt one, and he's got this one. This one Ben actually painted himself. I think it looks good. I like the simplicity of it. So Ben, he did a bang-up job with that car. And now Darren Arnsdorf sliding coming out of turn 4 there. He's actually on the top of the charts now, but coming down for adjustments with just over 20 minutes left after running a 19.714. And moving into the second position, Josiah Robinson in the 52. Oh, and knocked the 14 off the top. Andrew Williams in the 27. A beautiful 19.707 from that 27 Windows 10 car. He is flying here around Hillside. Not going to best his lap that time, though, as we're still just a little bit over 20 minutes left. That just gives you an idea of how quickly they're going, how many laps they can put in a minute here. It's about three and a half, really. Now Williams is going to go underneath Sebastian Kukulon, one of the two Trinity River Racing drivers. Kukulon in the 82, Sam Osgood in the 83. Of course, the biggest team in the field will have to be Team Velocystar. There's 4 full-time cars for this Velocystar fleet. One right here is returning to Cabela's Cup Series competition for the first time since Season 1. Missed out on Season 2. Has now come back for Season 3. Welcome back, Benny Watson in the 53. Watson, currently in the Preseason Thunder right now, is sitting on track. Well, we'll see. Deeper in the field, I think. He's not actually showing up there. He may have moved up a bit. 15th. He is 15th on the track right now. In terms of lap times, of course. That's what we go by in this. So here's the 15th fastest time with a 19.771. Actually 16th now, but it is tied with Will Parrish in the 0. But Watson has the advantage there because he got it first. So now just under 19 minutes remaining in this session. It's still Andrew Williams on the top of the 19.707. It is likely that we could see someone better that time later on in this session. Or they come down and adjust their cars and get fresher set of tires out here on this fast racetrack. They might want to come out if they're lucky and don't come out in the middle of traffic. And meanwhile, as smoke got kicked up there, I wonder if that was Williams coming down. But if they don't come out in traffic, they can fly around this track, as you can see here. Nathan Stapleton in the 97, owner driver for NS Racing. One of 2 full-time cars for NS Racing. The other one is Steven Colon here in the 98. And of course an unchartered car in the 99 for NS Racing. Of course they got a Scots National team as well. So that will serve as a Scots National hot seat. There are 11 of those hot seats, and how it's going to work is the top 11 drivers will be able to qualify or have a chance to qualify for a Cabela's Cup Series race the next week, depending on how the results for the Scots National race shape out. We'll have a session to qualify for that, whether it's a sprint race or just a 10-minute qualifying session. The top 2 from there will advance to the main qualifying session with everyone else, the 40 full-time guys. And then we'll decide the actual starting lineup for these races, as looks like Beverly Creed in the 32, the single car Hamill Racing Enterprises car with Barstool on the hood coming down onto the pit road, smoking. So they're going to have to pull out the backup engine or a backup engine for that 32. 29th fastest on the track with an 19.806, tied with Dan Park, who gets the nod on that because Park got it first. Andrew Williams back out on track, trying to best his lap time of a 19.707. Top 10's not changing very much, though. It's Williams, Arnsdorf, Hightower, Robinson, Young, Silverpoint, Cologne, Osgen, the 38 of Sophia Fragnini, and the 1 of Christian Vargas, rounding out the top 10. All in the 19.7s. Fragnini and Vargas are actually tied there for 9th with a 19.740. And with Fragnini, I'm guessing, getting it first, that's why she's listed ahead of Vargas. And 1/1000th of a second off between a 9th, 10th, and 11th there, the 34 of Ryan Durrani. He's going to be liking what's underneath his 34 car. We'll see if we can find Durrani out here on the track. If he is still out on the track. There he is. I guess he's just coming off the pit road. So we'll put Durrani back out on track as Benny Watson goes around on the outside. Speaking of Benny Watson, let's go through the rest of the Velocity fleet here. We have Daisy Johnson in the 15, who's out there on track. And the 51 of Ethan Lewis. And last but not least, the 35 of Andrew Miller. So look out for this team to be strong, but don't worry. Even with them being a 4-car team, and most of the other teams being 2-car teams or 1-car teams, this is not going to give Velocitar a, quote, unfair advantage of the Owners' Championship. But what we're going to do, we are going to take the amount of points that each team gets, we're going to divide that by how many cars are on the team, and round that to how many decimal spaces they need through the thousandths range. So, it'll even them out. So there's going to be no unfair advantage for any of the teams here. In fact, it may actually be good. It may actually be better if you have a smaller team, because you can have a better chance of having more cars up inside the higher positions, while if you're a bigger team, you could have some cars up front and some cars in the back. So Velocitar are going to be on paper the favorite to win the Owners' Championship, but we'll just have to see what happens. As Dan Park is going to go to the inside of the 35 of Andrew Miller. Good pass there. This could be a sneak preview of the kind of racing we see at Hillside. Fairly single file throughout, but a lot of side-by-side too when it does happen. Outside does seem to be the preferred line. There's a shot. Brad Crawford go by Keegan Thompson, the 46. Thompson on track right now has placed the 34th fastest lap time, with Sophia Fragnini there in the 38th, still in 9th. Again, the standings for the top 10 not changing very much, and the standings throughout the field not changing very much either as we go through now into the final 13 minutes. Ben Crouch in the 74, currently listed on last right now, the slowest time of the session, the Season 1 champion of the Cabela's Cup Series for that Chocolate Reigns Motorsports team, single car team that he owns, and right in front of him, Chase Buck and Benny Watson getting together. Watson bravely is going to dive down to the inside and get onto pit road. And finally, we have someone knocked off the top. Andrew Williams is no longer top of the chart. Hello again, Trey Wright, with a blistering time of 19.605 seconds. He's got to love that engine that Arctic Racing team has provided with him here at Hillside. And while this may not be indicative of the actual season itself, Wright has every reason to be confident right now with his car. They might bring this car to Hillside if he doesn't jump it. And it'll go around the 19 of Charlie Davenport. He's trying to best his lap time. He's probably not going to best it this time, though. He slipped a little wide there, and that was because Spotter told him, I guess, that Nathan Stapleton was going to come down onto the pit road. Nothing Nathan did wrong there. Nothing anybody did wrong there, but still is going to keep Wright from besting his lap time, and maybe even as he got around Will Parrish there. We'll have to see. There's a bunch of cars in front, and looks like he's actually going to come down onto the pit road. So, Trey Wright back down onto the pit road to adjust his car a bit further. So we talked about the single car team with Ben Crouch. How about this Polar Star Motorsports car? This is Nathan Smith, who's a single car owner-driver team, that 84 entry. He is coming in, right now, he has placed the 34th fastest lap time, knocking Keegan Thompson back to 35th. But he is flying around this track right now. He's got the, it's not a benefit. He's got the unfortunate situation of being in the middle of traffic. His car looks blistering fast, but he's just in traffic and he's not able to go full throttle all the way around this track. He's having to get out and make sure he doesn't run into these guys. But he's doing everything he can. He's going to go underneath the 52 of Josiah Robinson, who got stuck on the outside of Sam Oskin and Ben Groich there. Groich returning for a second straight season of Cabela's Cup Series competition. Finished inside the top 5 in points last season, bringing the 78 number along with him to his own team, Team Ninja Rapids. A 2-car team in Cup full-time with an uncharted car and 3 cars down in Scott's, the 78, the 59, and the 95 for both series. The 78 and 95 full-time for Cup. The 78 he drives, and the 95 being driven by our current champion for the Cabela's Cup Series. The 95 right there, there he is, Kanan Biller, who pulled away in the final 5 races of last season in his first season of Cabela's Cup Series competition last season. This is his second now. And he won the championship by a good 28 points over second place, which, either off the top of my head, it was Titan Nicholas or Trey Smith. It was one of those two. But either way, Biller was able to edge them out at the end, be where he needed to be to get the championship. And while he was half a track behind Dale Lightning and Travis Crampton as far as the race victory was concerned, he did everything he needed to do to get the championship, and who knows, he might have a good chance to go back-to-back here. He's 18th fastest in this session right now, but his fastest lap was a 19.765, and if you look at the lead times here, with the exception of Trey Wright, that's fairly in the ballpark with everyone else. And Will Parrish blowing up on the inside, another smoker. Everyone gonna get by. Parrish is gonna stay to the inside, and that Ruby Motorsports entry now is gonna have to go to a backup engine for the rest of this session. With just over 8 minutes left, he may not even get back to the pit road here, so he'll have to get teleported off down to the pit lane. It looks like he is going to stop, so he'll get teleported back. And of course, no cautions or red flags here in this session. We're just going to keep going. As the top 10 remains pretty much the same. Wright, Williams, Arnsdorf, Hightower, Robinson, Young, Silver Point, Cologne, Osgin, and Fregniti. Sophia Fregniti right here in the 38. Well, she was 9th, but it's still tied with Christian Vargas. So somebody got, oh, it was Trey Wright, I think. It got up there and knocked her down to 10th. So she's trying to rebound, potentially get a better time, but not going to be able to do that this lap or the next, with Ben George and Andrew Miller right in front of her. She's going to go to the inside and get around George. Now she's going to try to pick off Andrew Miller in the 35, and could be well on her way to bettering her lap time. We'll see what happens here, as we're now under 7 minutes to go in Preseason Thunder here at Hillside. Andrew Miller, the 13th fastest car. We'll see what Sophia Fragnini can do here. Running along the middle line, out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Had to get out of the gas a lot there coming out of 2. This could hurt her lap time. She comes around. Will she best the 19.74? No. Does not look like it. Ran a little high there coming off of turn 2 the last time. Andrew Miller in the 35. He's going to try to get around the 38 and potentially have a chance to best his lap time, but I don't think anybody's going to catch Trey Wright in the 90, who has that 19.605. Nobody, he's the only one that's running the 19.6. The next fastest lap is 19.707 that Andrew Williams was fastest with earlier, but not now, as George is going to come down the pit road. And speaking of side-by-side earlier, you wanted to see a sneak peek of the kind of racing you might see at Hillside. Right there, Thompson and Wright were side-by-side off of turn number 4. Now Sebastian Kukulon's going to try to run down the 90. Of course, not just practicing for lap times, practicing to get experience of what it feels like to drive the track in different lanes. This is absolutely a multiple groove track. So, you're not just going out there to get the fastest lap, you're going out there to get experience for later on this season. Kukulon's going to drive it in deep on the inside, potentially going to be able to make a move going off into 1. He will! Right up the racetrack, and Kukulon's going to get by. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this session. Kukulon flying. He had to get out of the gas a lot there going to 3, so this might hurt him on his next lap here. But Roy Ribbleton in the 81 there, Fitzwater Australia Racing entry, closing in on the back of Trey Wright. His teammate Mitchell Collins in the 59 is coming back for a 3rd consecutive season of Cabela's Cup Series competition. Here he is closing on the 4 of Chase Buck. The team Chase owns, Buck Racing. With him and Brad Stover full-time here in the Cabela's Cup Series. There's Stover. Stover in the 48. Currently is 28th fastest with a 19.802. A fairly good lap time. And of course, not indicative of what is going to come later on this season. He could be one of the best cars of this season. He's definitely got one of the sportiest paint schemes, I will say. And I'm not just saying that because I mean. Anyway, he is now on the outside getting freight trained there. One of the Velocity cars coming on the inside there. Daisy Johnson in behind Charlie Davenport. And Trey Smith, haven't talked about him very much. We talked about his teammate in the car he owns. But here Trey Smith in the 77, who has the 17th fastest lap time, putting up a respectable showing here in the Preseason Thunder at Hillside. Everyone's put up a respectable showing, no terrible lap times. Even with Ben Crouch having a 19.917, that's still a fairly decent lap time here at the Hillside. So nothing to be concerned about there. Definitely we'll work on the adjustments and be ready for later on in the season. As Christian Vargas is going to come out, Alexander Rowe in the 11, one of the Ryan Racing entries. Mentioned his teammate Charlie Davenport a couple seconds ago. Here's Rowe, who's coming off of the NOFSRL Cup Series. Last year, he won the NOFSRL Cup Series Daytona 500 for Season 9 over there. So definitely coming in with some confidence here into his first season at Cabela's Cup Series competition. Has the experience, and while he'll not be racing at New Smyrna, he will be racing full-time. Of course, he will be racing in the Daytona 500 here in just a few weeks. It'll be coming right here on the Trinity River Network at 11 a.m. on February 13th, 2021. And of course, before that, we have the Mac Tools Duels on the 11th in the evening under the lights at Daytona. That's going to be fun as well to see who of the Uncharted guys is going to make the field, as well as what the qualifying is going to look like, because of course remember how we did it last season. We didn't have any Uncharted cars, so Duel 1 made up the inside line for the qualifying, and Duel number 2 made up the outside. So we will random generate to see who makes it into each duel, and of course who gets into the Uncharted cars. That will be decided the weekend before the duels with the Scots National season opener at Homestead Miami Speedway, the weekend of the Fuzzy's Taco Shop Fiesta at New Smyrna, and the CarQuest Indy Racing League opener at Pikes Peak International Raceway on the 5th, 6th, and the 7th in no particular order. It's actually New Smyrna on the 5th, the Scots National race on the 6th, and CarQuest on the 7th, as that will bring an end to the Preseason Thunder session right there. Trey Wright with the blistering 19.605. Nobody got close. And Wright is going to take the session here at Hillside and have a plethora of confidence going into the rest of the season. Andrew Williams was the fastest there before Wright came along. Put up a respectable 19.707. That's good for him. Darian Arnsdorf in the team he owns, All-Star Speed Team, in that 14 car. He looked good, as well as, let's see, where did Keegan Thompson end up? 37th, 19.826. Not a terrible lap time. But of course, again, this is not going to be indicative of the rest of the season. I highly doubt it will be. So we'll just have to see what happens for the actual 32 races of the season, of course, at New Smyrna and the duels as well. Only 17 of these guys are going to be at New Smyrna, though. It's going to be a mix of guys returning from last season and guys who not necessarily raced last season in Cabela's, but have raced in Cabela's before and have come back. So that would be Benny Watson, for example. Welcome back to the Cup Series. He gets to be in the New Smyrna race. So we'll take a look at your results here. Wright, Williams, Arnsdorf, Hightower, Robinson, Young, Silver Point, Cologne, Osgood, and Fragnini rounded out the top 10. Again, Fragnini and Vargas were tied with a 19.740, but Fragnini is going to get the tiebreaker there because she got it first. Let's take a look at the rest of your standings here, and we see a lot of ties out through here. The 8-1, the 7-8-3, 7-7-1 right there, 7-6-2 between Trey Smith and Mitchell Collins. We'll give that to Trey Smith. Benny Watson will get the nod over Will Parrish with the 7-7-1, and the 7-8-1 will go to Alexander Rowe on that one. Eric Monaco will get the nod over Daisy Johnson there with a 19.783. This 19.803 will go to Ethan Lewis over Jacob Thibodeau. And that's it for ties. Ben Crouch bringing up the rear there with a 19.917, but not a terrible showing for this Season 1 champion. So that's going to wrap us up here at Hillside. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you're excited for the Cabela's Cup Series Season number 3, as well as everything else coming here in 2021 on the Trinity River Network, because I know I sure am. I am excited to bring it all to you. It's going to be a fantastic year for the TRN and the entire NOFSRL. I'm excited to see where it goes. We'll see you on February 5th for the New Smyrna Fuzzy's Taco Shop Fiesta under the lights. Until then, y'all have a good one.